All right, today we're diving into something pretty wild. We're looking at an author's framework that suggests we could use modern technology, the stuff we use every day, to actually communicate with other worlds. It's a huge idea, so let's just jump right in and see what this is all about. So let me start by asking you a question. What if you could pick up your phone and call someone who's passed on? I know, it sounds like something straight out of a movie, but it's the core idea behind a whole field of research that the author really digs into. And this field has a name: instrumental transcommunication, or ITC for short. The author basically defines it as using our tech, phones, radios, computers, to build a stable, two-way bridge to what they call the worlds of spirit. The whole point isn't just to get blips and squeaks, but to have a real, genuine exchange of information. So how in the world could this actually work? Well, the author lays it all out as a series of problems and solutions. We're going to walk through this blueprint, looking at the main problem, the role we humans play, why harmony is so important, the need for a little outside help, and then we'll put it all together in a final 6-step plan for making contact. Okay, let's get into it. The first big hurdle, according to the author, has nothing to do with technology. It's a communication gap. It's like we're speaking two completely different languages. Think about it. Here on Earth, everything we say and do is based on our 5 senses. We talk, we listen, we write things down. It's all about words and pictures. But the author says communication in these other realms is telepathic. It's a silent mind-to-mind thing. So the very first step is just to get our heads around that massive difference. They're telepathic. We're, well, usually not. So if the tech isn't the main issue, the focus has to shift, right? It has to turn inward to us, the human operator. And this, according to the author, is where things start to get really, really interesting. This quote really says it all. The author apparently asked a spirit contact how to set up his lab equipment for a better signal, and the answer he got was that the equipment wasn't really the most important part. No, it was his own psychic reception. And just to make this point crystal clear, get this. The author says this advice came during a spontaneous phone call from Konstantin Radiv, a huge name in this field, who had died 20 years earlier. Wow. So that story really hammers home that the human element is everything. The solution then is to either reawaken our own psychic side or to team up with someone who's already dialed in. But it goes even deeper than that. The author proposes a third solution. You need to have someone involved who has a natural ITC aptitude. This is described as being more than just a little psychic. It's an inborn, powerful, focused will that can actually influence the physical world on a really subtle level. I mean, listen to this. A spirit being quoted by the author described this aptitude as a kind of emotional lance. It's this super focused consciousness that can help make communications appear in our world as sounds, images, you name it. And apparently it's just something you're born with. Okay, now we're at what the author calls the single most important factor in this entire process: creating a field of resonance. Basically, without mental and spiritual harmony between everyone involved, none of the other stuff matters. It just won't work. So this harmony has to exist inside what's called the contact field. The easiest way to think about it is like a group mind, a collective consciousness of the whole project. That includes everyone on the Earth side and everyone on the spirit side. For that communication bridge to hold steady, this field has to be crystal clear. So what keeps the field clear? It's all about your motivation, your intention. Positive source motivations, things like friendship, honesty, trust, they create resonance. It's like a beautiful, perfect chord. But negative, shadow motivations like selfishness or suspicion, they create static and discord, and the whole connection just gets murky and falls apart. Now, here's what's so wild about this. This resonance, this harmony, directly affects the messages themselves. The author's spirit contacts apparently explained that they don't just type out a message and hit send. Instead, they send out thought impulses that actually merge with the thoughts of the people on Earth to form words. The message is literally co-created by everyone in that shared consciousness. So once the human side of the equation is in place, the author says there are a couple more pieces to the puzzle. And these involve getting a little help from what are described as higher levels of existence. This brings us to the 5th solution. You need the help of what the author calls finer beings. Think of them as cosmic gatekeepers. Their job is to help the communication along, protect the bridge from any disruptive static, and they can even help filter out some of the negative thoughts from the human team to keep the connection strong and stable. And the sixth and final solution really ties it all together. The author argues that the bedrock, the foundation for all this work, is to build a conscious, personal connection with a universal divine source, whatever you want to call it. This connection is said to be this powerful, calming force that gives the whole project its strength and coherence.
And to make this a little more practical, the author even suggests a specific technique called heart meditation. And it's actually really simple. The idea is just to move your awareness out of your busy, analytical head and down into your chest, into your heart space, to really foster that direct feeling of connection. So, after looking at all these different parts, we can finally put them all together into one complete blueprint for how to actually make contact.
So here it is, the full 6-step process. Step 1, remember you're dealing with telepathy, not email. Step 2, make sure psychic sensitivity is in the mix. Step 3, get someone on the team with that natural emotional lance. Step 4, and this is the big one, keep the vibes high and maintain mental harmony. Step 5, be open to help from higher beings. And finally, Step 6, ground the whole entire thing in a conscious connection to a divine source. And that brings us to the author's final, pretty mind-bending question. If this blueprint really works for communicating with the spirit world, could the exact same principles, telepathy, psychic ability, resonance, and higher guidance, also be the key to making contact with advanced extraterrestrial civilizations? Now, that is a fascinating idea to think about.